There's a lot of information available for recovering from shoulder surgery or a shoulder injury, but none from the perspective of being a defender. If you watch this channel, I presume that you are a defender and you know that you are your first line of defense, and that when seconds count, the police are only minutes away. So I'm going to take a minute here and talk about shoulder surgery recovery from the standpoint of somebody who believes in self-defense. All right, thanks for stopping in. A little bit different today. There are no firearms involved here, but again, I'm a defender, and again, if you watch this channel, I presume that you are also, at least to some extent. Now, self-defense means different things to different people, and there's different levels of self-defense, but the ultimate level is being able to carry a tool that can equalize your status in life. I'm getting a little older. I don't have the empty-handed skills that I did have. Well, maybe I never really had them, but that I thought I had when I was younger, especially during my career as a police officer. But about almost 9 months ago, I did a stupid, and I tripped and I fell and I landed on my shoulder. And according to the report here, let's see, full thickness tearing of the anterior portion of the supraspinatus, or however you pronounce that, partial tearing of the posterior portion, tears of the subscapularis and infraspinatus, and anyway, a whole bunch of stuff. And actually, when it happened, I'm a right-handed person, as you can know if you watch my videos. You can see that my right hand here is not working real well. Well, my hand is, my shoulder's not. After that happened, I had a lot of pain, and drawing from my usual position at about 330 outside the waistband, or even inside the waistband, about that same position, was really painful. My 1.5 second draw to first shot, or first accurate hit, was long gone. But it got better. It took several weeks of rest and pain relievers and not doing any more damage to it to finally get better at it. And I put off surgery. In fact, I figured it'll heal. Well, it didn't. Finally, after about 3 months, I got an ultrasound, and they determined there was a tear. I went to a specialist. He wanted more. I got an MRI, and that's when that report came out. He said, "Yeah, it's like a hole in your sock. It's never going to get better. It may get worse." Unless they fix it. So he said I got about an 85% chance of full recovery. So last week, today is week 7 after surgery. Last week I went in and they put me out and did arthroscopic surgery. There's 4 little holes up here where they stick in the camera and the tools and whatnot. Outpatient stuff. I was home that day. Never had to take any heavy duty drugs. Pain management right now is by Advil and Tylenol, but how am I going to defend, if it comes to that ultimate point, how am I going to defend with my right arm? Now, could I hold a gun and pull the trigger with my right hand? Yeah, okay, sure. We'll talk about some specifics coming up in a follow-up video to this, but what I really want to get to is preparation for it. You never know when it's going to happen. I've considered myself relatively healthy, but that trip and fall, again, just a stupid moment. I won't even get into all the details on that, but you never know when it's going to happen. And are you prepared to work with just your offhand? Now, I don't like the term strong hand, weak hand. When I get done with this, my secondary hand, my support hand, will probably be stronger than my primary hand. But my primary hand, for all practical purposes, a defender, is out of business. And after I determined that I was going to get surgery, and I put it off till I had a period of time, right now it's still January of 2024, when I wasn't going to be doing anything heavy duty. I got everything prepared ahead of time. I even practiced ahead of time. I started shooting left-handed, and I'd been doing a lot of left-handed shooting off and on anyway, but I'm concentrating more on left-handed shooting. I just did a holster video on the Vanish holster. Let's see, that'll post probably somewhere up here. In fact, I think I posted here last week. There's a possibility for a way to carry concealed with my left hand. I've got another holster coming that we'll do another review on coming up in the near future that is left-handed specifically. I made sure that I am carrying a firearm that I can fully work with my left hand. That means, and you know I like safeties, that means it has ambidextrous safety, ambidextrous controls, and we'll see how that goes. I'll be doing a review on that. It's a relatively new gun to me anyway, and I'll be doing a review on that shortly. But lots of other things to prep for that you just don't think about. So I practiced, and once I scheduled surgery, I put just a plain old sling on and practiced doing things with my left hand. And man, it's amazing what I really can't do without my full use of my right hand. And you can see shaving is certainly not high on my list of abilities right now. Even something simple like brushing my teeth. I tried doing that left-handed, and that was a disaster. I ended up having to buy an electric toothbrush. It works out pretty good. Getting dressed, Okay, I do have help. Fortunately, my wife has been very supportive of this. She's actually been over backwards trying to help out. Things like showering. Again, things you just don't think about. Dressing, I can do most of that by myself, although it does take a little bit longer. And fortunately, right now, I don't even have to leave the house. My teaching duties are put on hold. I got somebody else handling a class right now. No big deal on that. I think, what is it, a week from tomorrow, I start up the leagues again. And again, I'll just be supervising. Other people will have to do most of the heavy lifting on that. Things like working the computer with my left hand. Okay, I'm working the mouse. Now, keyboard, it's kind of slow, but again, I fortunately have been a touch typist for a long time, and my left hand is now adapting to that. But I got to work my mouse on the left hand. Not prepared to do that stuff. Just all the little things that you just don't think about. So here's my suggestion. You never know when it's going to happen. Be prepared a little bit for at least how you're going to be able to respond as a defender. Even driving a car. I'm not driving yet. Get clearance by my doctor hopefully tomorrow to start driving if I need to. Seatbelt extenders. You know, I can reach the seatbelt, but I couldn't buckle in a couple of my cars, so I had to get extenders for that. I can't drive and change the radio station at the same time. That's okay. I shouldn't be doing that anyway. Just little things you just never think about. So just see where you could go with this by putting a sling on your primary arm or even your secondary. Because in a defensive situation, secondary hand is as important as your primary hand. So try doing things just one-handed, but try the sling on your primary arm and just see all the limitations of the things that you may need to adapt to with your secondary hand. So in a follow-up video, I already mentioned I'm going to talk about a couple of options that I'm looking at for being able to carry, once I start going out in public again, which will probably be next week, options for carrying defensive tools. Little things like I used to carry my a folding knife clipped in my right pocket. I can barely reach that now with my left hand to get it out. My OC spray is in my left pocket. That's going to work out fine. Getting anything out of my right pocket, that ain't going to happen for a while. What about being able to not only use your firearm, but if you ever have to? Now, for your private citizen, having to reload in a gunfight is almost unheard of. However, I still do carry a spare magazine. So how am I going to put all this stuff on? How am I going to carry my defensive tools in general? Again, not just a firearm. Videos coming up on that. So the pain is down to being managed by just Advil and occasional Advil right now. After 7 days, I expect I'll be in this sling for at least 5 more weeks. Maybe longer. And even after that, I've been told for about 3 months after getting out of this, while I'm going through physical therapy, I shouldn't be lifting, pushing, or pulling more than 5 pounds. That means no shotgun shooting. Well, actually, I tried that after I heard it originally, and that didn't work out too well. No long gun shooting, except maybe with the 22, which I just picked up in a 22 that I'll be doing a review on once we get out of this. So some changes coming up that are going to be different for me for at least several months. We'll see how it goes. Stay tuned for the next one about looking at different ways to carry your defensive tools, at least from my perspective, things that I've thought about. And if you've got any suggestions on your own, if you've been through this, pop a comment down below. Let me know how it went for you as a defender. Let me know things that you had to think of. Maybe there's things that I haven't yet thought of that are coming up. So I appreciate the comments, and stay tuned for the next one, and hopefully we'll get back to regular firearm videos in the not too distant future. Thanks for dropping in.